let's proceed with the matter of the arrest and charges against our former president. So, our president was sent to The Hague on March 11, 2025, just recently from the recording of this video, hours after he was arrested in Manila at the request of the ICC as part of its probe on the war on drugs that defined his presidency. For our non-Filipino audience, you might be interested to know, well, actually, you already know that the Duterte administration highlighted its war on drugs for the entire 6-year term of our former president. And during the period, there were several apprehensions, and of course, undeniably, there were people who died from uh, this policy of the former president. So, when we try to understand the matter of arrest um, of our president under the ICC's mandate, we have to understand that a state party, according to the Rome Statute, which has received a request for the provisional arrest or for the arrest and surrender of the suspect, shall immediately take steps to arrest the person in question in accordance with its laws. I am emphasizing here the um, matter or the phrase in accordance with our laws because foremost we have our Philippine Constitution. There is that principle we call constitutional supremacy, where our Constitution, being the supreme law of the land, is over and above any law, statute, even contracts, and any other agreements which may have been entered into um, within the effectivity of the Constitution. And Article 59 proceeds in saying that a person arrested shall be brought promptly before the competent judicial authority of the custodial state, which shall determine in accordance with the law that the state of the state that the warrant applies to the person. Is he the same person? Um, Second, the person has been arrested in accordance with the proper process. Was a proper process been held before the arrest of the person, and that the person's rights have been respected. So this is Article 59 of the Rome Statute. Does the officer need to have a warrant therefore? If we are going to look at our domestic law, kailangan ba niyang hawak yung warrant of arrest para arestuhin yung tao? Well, ideally dapat no meron. Pero there are instances kasi when the warrant of arrest is served where the law enforcement officer does not have the warrant in his possession. No, this is when they randomly see the person whom they know that there is a warrant issued against for that person. But here, for me, just my opinion, this is the former president we are talking about. There is no randomness here. For me, the warrant should have been brought to him or with them and shown to him immediately when he was arrested. That's just my opinion, because there is no random arrest here conducted. No, regardless, um, the warrant of arrest must be shown to him as soon as possible. No, as soon as practicable. When making the arrest by virtue of a warrant, the officer shall inform the person to be arrested of the cause of his arrest and the fact that there is a warrant. Okay? So, basahan siya ng CIR, no? Or custodial investigation rights, or what we popularly know as the Miranda rights warning, no? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to a competent counsel, and so on, no? So, you are to be informed that there is a warrant against you and of what reasons are there for the issuance of the warrant. For all of this, was this done during the arrest of Duterte? Was he shown the warrant? Was he read the Miranda rights? Of course he was. Was he informed of the charges? Diba? That's part of the process. This is important. Any member of the Philippine Bar, at the request of the person arrested or of another acting on his behalf, have the right to visit and confer privately with such a person. Was it given to Mayor Duterte or President Duterte? I don't think so. He was always accompanied by soldiers, and they even manhandled their counsel. No? Um, or such with such person in the jail or any other place of custody at any hour or day. At any hour or day, counsel must be given to him. Such reasonable regulations are relative of a person arrested can also exercise the same right. No? Um, in the Philippines, visits are also allowed by his family, and also the family includes fiance. A fiance is considered as a family member. But you have to look at the videos. Um, the lawyers of the former president were restricted, given limited access to the president. Now, this is the warrant, the portion of the warrant of which was the cause for the arrest of our president. So, the allegation claims that based on the material submitted by the prosecution, which relates to a non-exclusive list, meaning non-exclusive, there are others which are not mentioned, of incidents. The chamber finds reasonable grounds to believe that during the relevant period, murders of persons allegedly involved in various crimes or forms of criminal activities, including drug-related ones, were committed as follows. So you might want to mind the terms there, including. So meaning excludes, or it also includes other crimes which are not drug related, no? At least 19 persons, allegedly drug pushers or thieves, were killed by members of the DDS, that's the Davao Death Squad, in various locations around or in or around Davao City. At least 24 persons, alleged criminals such as drug pushers and thieves or drug users, were killed by or under the supervision of the members of the Philippine law enforcement, sometimes with the assistance of persons who were not part of the police at various locations in the Philippines. So, these are the allegations, in short. He was allegedly the founder of the DDS as mayor of Davao City and subsequently became the president. He is alleged to be responsible for the crime of against humanity of murder, crime against humanity of murder of the Rome Statute committed between November 2011 and 16 March 2019. Mostly, di ba? Um, at the time when the Philippines was still a signatory to the Rome Statute. Duterte is alleged to have committed these crimes as part of the widespread and systematic attack directed against a civilian population. So these are the specific provision that you might want to be interested in. The crime of against humanity for murder, no? Crime against humanity means any of the following acts when committed as part of a widespread systematic attack directed against any civilian population. Against any civilian population with the knowledge of such an attack through murder. So murder here is the means, no, to the attack. So the attack against if you look at if you look at Article 7, it qualifies that the attack directed against any civilian population means a course of conduct involving the multiple commission of acts referred to in paragraph 1. This one. Okay? Against any civilian population. Parang pinapakita na yung mga magnanakaw na pinatay, allegedly, at yung, kasama yung mga durugista, mga pushers, is a part of the civilian population pursuant to in furtherance to a state or organizational policy to commit such attack. What do we expect here? The prosecution will argue that Duterte's war on drugs campaign is a state-tolerated or approved attack on suspected civilians. Bakit emphasized na civilians? Because they are non-combatants. They are non-combatant drug offenders. Iba kasi kapag kasi sa ibang mga issues sa international um, uh, law na pag-aaral natin, kina-qualify sila na na combatants, especially remember when they wanted to retaliate against the 9/11 bombing, qualifying certain persons as non as combatants, no? So that they could be excused from enforcing international law. Duterte will oppose the argument that the reported killings were legitimate law enforcement operations without elements of a coordinated systematic plan or intention to commit mass murder. That would be the defense, most likely. This is, I think, the same perspective. This is the perspective of Dean Ralph Sarmiento. No? This is a very good perspective and preemption. No? Can the president invoke immunity? No. For matters involving acts done prior to his presidency. No? For matters, for acts done prior to his presidency. Also, if he wants to invoke such immunity during his presidency, immunities or special procedural rules which may attach to the official capacity of persons, whether under national or international law, shall not bar the court from exercising its jurisdiction over such a person. So even for offenses which would refer to acts done during his term as president, he's not immune from that. How about senator? There are talks that some of the senators will, who might win for elections, or who might have been impleaded when they were senators, no? I do not know, would want to invoke their immunity. Well, there is immunity from arrest, but the crimes that they are immune from being arrested from are for offenses na 6 years below. No? For those that are beyond 6 years, they may be arrested. And if there is any immunity, it is immunity yung past yung speech and debate clause, no? Parliamentary immunity. So for me, a senator here cannot invoke immunity. Talking about the possibility of implicating senators Bato and Bongo. Can the principle of sovereign immunity be invoked? Personally, no, because the person that is impleaded is not, or sued is not the state, but a personality of the state, who is Duterte. And we were once signatory to the Rome Statute. There is the principle of pacta sunt servanda, conformity to the statute in good faith, and this would refer to allegations done prior to our withdrawal. But those who would oppose have a valid stance when they say that we have the principle of rebus sic stantibus. Our circumstances have already changed and we are no longer signatories to the Rome Statute because of our withdrawal therefrom. Okay. If there's a conflict between domestic and international law, which prevails, you have the international rule that says that a state cannot use its own laws as a justification for not adhering to international law before an international tribunal. Instead, it must adjust its laws to meet its treaty obligations unless a constitutional violation is clearly significant and pertains to a crucial eternal legal principle, constitutional supremacy. Remember that. Um, if there has been any procedural infirmity in the arrest of Duterte, or any um, uh, procedure prior to his charge, can it be invoked in the ICC? This is appropriately also raised by Dean Ralph Sarmiento, the principle of um, male captus bene detentus, wrongly captured but well kept, says that the wrongfulness of an arrest or abduction does not negate the validity of detention or imprisonment. Under this doctrine, although jurisdiction over the defendant may have been acquired by the forum state through a violation of international law, such an excess of enforcement jurisdiction, the forum state may nonetheless exercise its jurisdiction lawfully over the defendant once he is within the judicial jurisdiction. Well, Duterte is already in The Hague, no? So he already is in their jurisdiction. The exception is if the accused has been seriously maltreated and subjected to inhuman and degrading treatment. That technical lapses might have the ICC consider the charges against him. So I hope this video helped, and thank you for viewing. We might be posting more updates soon as the situation unfolds. Thank you for viewing.